Just start the podcast. Bro.
Welcome back to the Gen Z Speaks podcast. We have our classic Asian Chinese immigrant here, Mr.
You already
Mike.
know.
No, hold on. Give him a proper introduction.
Oh,
Like a OG of the podcast. He was on episode 3. We promised him he would come on episode 69, his favorite number for other reasons. But here
I'll
he
give you
is.
an explanation. But yes.
How you
Thank you
doing,
for
man?
welcoming me back.
Yes,
Do you want to
Feeling good? Feeling good?
Do you want to introduce yourself again?
Of course. What's up, guys? This is Mike. Also Ming. Ming for business. Mike for personal life. And yes, I want to give a proper introduction for episode 69. And the reason why I like it. Because
Wait, I don't know if I
the-
want to go into these details.
Oh yeah, hold on.
I'm all ears, man.
In the in
having a
the-
boring day today.
In the Chinese culture,
Uh-oh.
you know, the yin and the yang look like the 6 and the 9, right?
Mhm.
You're supposed to balance each other. And I felt like so many things happen in our life
Yeah.
needs balance.
Okay.
Sometimes we try to overwork ourselves. We
Okay.
lose balance. But then you lose longevity. So many times we're trying to stay too much in our comfort zone. You also lose balance, then you lose the motivation. You know, this year, Matt told me that he want to, you know, next year, right? You're hitting the 10 mil.
You hit 10 mil next
And you
year.
can sense it. He can sense it. It's like he can smell the cold, hard cash right in front of him. And that's something we need. But that also means episode 69, we need balance. How do we balance it out? Of course, you can rush right through, but what keeps us in the game, right?
That was a very long explanation for you liking the sexual interaction of 69.
No.
No, he doesn't. So you don't like it you just like 69.
No, bro, it's okay.
Because-
it's okay.
because it's a
okay,
yin and
bro.
yang.
I understand yin and yang, male, female. This
No.
is a yin-yang concept.
That's the most American thing I have ever heard today. Yin and yang. Here, does that thing ever make sense to you? Like I talk to my American friends, domestic friends, like if the yin and the yang, right, the correct way to say it, they're black and white, you know, dark and white to balance. I don't know. It's like an equilibrium, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
how are Americans pronouncing it like yin yin?
Yin and
Like
yang.
that shit itself doesn't even make sense.
Yin yang?
What is it supposed to be originally?
Yin yang.
Yin yang.
I think we talked about this on episode 3.
Maybe very briefly, actually.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
brought
why
it up.
every time when I heard yin yang, it just doesn't add up in my head. I just
Mm.
felt like, you know what? If it's like two completely opposite word, why does it sound exactly the same?
Yin yang.
I have a question for you. Which of your names do you like the most? Because you said Ming for business, right?
Yeah,
Mike for personal.
for personal.
Which one do you like more?
Actually, great question because
you. I hear that a lot on this podcast.
great question.
Thank you.
When I first started my study and board process here in the States, I wanted to pick an English name, right?
Mhm.
And obviously, my English level wasn't sufficient enough to pick an English name
Mm.
because I wouldn't know which one seems like the right name. Is like, you know, it's like you're. It sounds weird, but it's like you're a dad for the first time. It's like you're trying to name yourself, name a
Mm.
kid or something, and you're like, what the heck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like to name someone, name myself in a language I don't even know how to say spriting. like it does not make sense.
So what were you doing? You're just looking up English names in Chinese?
Actually, the complete opposite.
Okay.
What I did was I was on the dinner table. It was like a couple days, maybe a week or two before I went out to the States. I was on the dinner table with my mom, my family, of course, some family friends, and one of the family friend, his name is Benny. So Benny is like a American Chinese, and he was obviously living in the mainland China because his wife is there.
Okay.
Well, but now they come back to the States here I think in Seattle now. So what's up, Benny? If you're watching, props to you for giving me the name.
Benny!
So someone
Yeah.
else named you.
Yeah. Oh, however, let me finish the story. What I said was I was on the dinner table, and Benny was next to me, and he obviously, out of all the people that's on the table, are the one that's most proficient with English. So of course I asked him. I was like, "Hey, Benny, I'm going to the States soon, and I don't have an English name yet. I feel like I won't fit in. You know, what's like a name that's easy to remember, easy to pronounce, a good name for a guy?"
Big
He's like,
Mike.
Yeah, he's like, "Why don't you go with Mike?"
It
Yeah.
honestly, Ming kind of sounds like Mike. It sounds like
Yeah,
that would be your Chinese name. It sounds like the translation would be.
What
there.
is your actual name? How do you actually say your name?
Ming Yi Xu.
Mm.
And no one ever, since the day I came here a decade ago, ever pronounced my last name right. because it
Except
says
me.
许
I can get it. Do it one more time.
许
No, just say your whole name.
名义许
Ming Yishu.
Nope.
Damn it!
No, that's like
Mingishu.
that's like if
No.
you tell me you like Chinese food, but the first thing come out of your mouth is orange chicken.
It wasn't that bad. It
It was-
wasn't.
This guy loves Panda Express.
I love Panda
Yeah, I
Express.
saw it coming.
You saw it coming. You smelled it on me. Man.
But-
Wait,
but
say it one
yeah.
more time. I actually want to get it right. What's your last say your last name one more time?
许
Oh wow.
Shu.
Mm,
Shu.
That's like I said.
So.
Gutierrez.
Okay.
It's
So
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
Terrible, bro.
See, terrible.
Gutierrez.
Something about
God
names.
awful.
We just can't pronounce other cultures' name properly. So
I
Yeah.
pronounced yours properly.
I
No, you don't.
hold very high.
Hey. Shu.
Nah, man. That's,
Nah.
that's like straight up racist. that's like like who the heck does
It
that?
sounds like
I
you're
was like-
constipated there.
I was like,
Like,
what's up,
"Gee,
Matt?
No, the
Yeah.
dialect is difficult. If you don't
It's
know
very
how to-
hard. Wow. I
So
can't.
yeah,
Tom.
going back to it, I completely gave up on teaching other people my last name. I
Oh.
figure it takes way more time and way more frustration on me. So what I do is I just say XU.
Shu.
No, XU. And people are like, is your last name really XU? I was like, yeah, it's my last name. Pretty sure I know my last name.
That's the way it's spelled, though. XU.
Yeah, XU. I actually figure that they actually say XU way better than just saying how to
Oh,
pronounce it.
so when you're talking to clients, you tell them, "Hey, my name is Mingy," and they're like, "What's your last name?" And you say XU.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who I talk to.
Who asked for your last name? People ask for your last
Well,
name.
it's interesting, right? When you talk to someone, when you talk to your friend or people you just got to know, they would ask, oh, interesting name. How do you pronounce your last name? XU. Very self-explanatory. And then they will sometimes, some people are chill. They're like, cool, people go with different names. People go with different way of saying their names. But some people, they have the urge to push for a little bit. So they say, how do you pronounce it? XU. No, like, how do you pronounce it?
Really? Yeah.
Like XU.
You won't tell them?
I won't, but depends.
You just
If
told me though.
sometimes I feel like this person
You had to
somehow-
embarrass me on the Gen Z Speaks podcast.
No.
man.
If no. Finish this part though, and you would know that I actually give you the ultimate respect.
Thank
If
you.
sometimes I do feel like this person somehow have some potential to say it right, I would have tried to say.
So you
it.
can see in their eyes, like this man
Well,
can get
not
my
in their
last name
eyes, but I
correct.
can just kind of feel it out. Because if I just feel like this guy's just.
It's like
to
you lock
push to
eyes
push.
with them.
Nah, I don't know about that. There's respect, but not to that level. Okay, not lock eyes.
I mean, I know how it goes, bro. I know why you're such a good salesman. You're standing behind the desk, you look at them in the eyes, and you don't say a word. You just look, and then they feel so uncomfortable or beloved that they go ahead and buy from you.
No,
No?
we're not gonna talk about work, so this part is gonna get cut off. So sorry, Matt. We're not gonna steer to that route.
I'm not gonna say what field you're in or.
No,
Ridiculous, man.
I think
It's okay, bro.
perspectives,
I'm here for
right?
you.
Perspectives. I think going
Okay.
back to the original story, Mike. I just felt like when I first got the name, it seems like an easy name for myself even to pronounce it, right?
Mike.
Like I'm an Asian guy. I'm not gonna go with a name like, oh, I'm Christopher. Like it doesn't even fucking add up. Like I'm just simply not gonna go with that name. Like for gosh sake.
Hey, that is true. A lot of immigrants, they just choose really easy names. Alex?
How is Mike any different from
Mike?
Christopher? Is what I want to know.
When I
That's
first got
way
Mike,
different.
I'll tell you this.
Mike is
Chris.
Mike?
Chris.
is one syllable.
Chris.
Chris.
But Christopher, you
Chris.
just go by Chris,
Two.
right? Nobody really says Christopher
Christopher. Three
Ironic
syllables.
fact is
unless
that
you want to conquer some countries or something.
yeah, when I first know the name Mike, I don't even know Mike was abbreviation for Michael.
Yeah.
And until I figured that out and I start meeting the Michaels, it gets a little awkward because in my mind, I always felt like Michael and Mike is two different things, two different names.
Okay.
And then my son Michael's is like, I don't think they're me.
So what's your legal name?
Ming Yi.
Okay.
But right now, I'm using just Ming.
Why don't you just use Ming for your friends too? You like it's what I'm just curious about the
He does,
separation.
yeah.
Yeah, I do. But
Okay.
I feel like for my friends who already know me as Mike, I mean, I have no obligation towards it. It's not like I feel like, oh, you have to call me Ming now, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really bug me that much. The only reason why I want to use my name Ming is because when I started working, I felt like, You know what? I've been here for long enough. I know the culture. I feel like this is my own culture, and I want to prolong that. I want to retain it. I want to keep my roots. So I feel like if I get to know someone, if we want to know each other badly enough, I'm pretty sure they can figure out how to say my real name. Plus, Ming is like the easiest name to say.
Ming is easy.
It's like Yao Ming. It's only one pronunciation, and I only took
Exactly.
half of his name because I'm half of his height, right? So obviously,
He's a tall guy.
I guess one day I'll use my full first name, Ming Yi. But I think Ming Yi is a little harder to pronounce right now. So at the earlier on stage, maybe mainly for career, I'll only use Ming because it's easier to remember. I'll use Ming Yi when I get to maybe like a certain stage of my career. I feel like, actually now I don't have to care as much if it's easy for people to say.
That's interesting. So the more successful you get, the more like syllables you'll add to your name.
Well,
That's cool. Like, it's
technically, if
interesting.
we're saying in that way, I only got one more stage to go in my career.
Yeah. Only one more syllable to go
So
until
maybe
you become a millionaire. Yeah.
I gotta get.
I
add a
call him
couple
Miguel.
more.
That's my
Miguel.
name for him. Miguel.
Yeah. So that's one thing, right?
You don't like Miguel?
Miguel is obviously a Mexican name. I have.
Obviously,
He doesn't want to get deported, man. He wants to stay in the country.
Oh no!
is
Let's
what-
not go that route. We all don't want to get banned.
Your name's Mike. So
No, I don't get
you
offended.
get it right. Mike, Michael, Miguel.
Miguel is cool. It's a Spanish way of saying Mike,
Yeah.
right? So I'm totally cool with that.
Okay.
I think Miguel is actually pretty cool. I know a guy named Miguel back in high school.
Oh, nice.
Super cool guy. I don't know if he's watching. He's probably on Instagram too. But
Hi,
anyways.
Miguel. Ming misses you.
Hi, Miguel. He was a great guy.
He was a great guy.
Very friendly guy.
He is. He's still alive, right?
Oh, of course. We went to the same
Nice.
high school together.
Do you
Well,
Back
think
in
you never know, bro.
freshman, Colorado.
I went to elementary school with this guy, and he's dead now. Unfortunately,
Ooh.
I went to elementary school with this kid. Named I think his name's I think his name's
Yeah, don't
Chase. Yeah.
don't say that. Okay.
Well, he was like my good friend back then, dude. And he always had like problems with his.
You're
with his
serious?
heart, swear to God, had hearts with problems with his
Oh,
heart.
man.
And I found out a couple years ago, passed away.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
A couple years ago, you passed away.
yeah. Like
So
in the
he's
2020s.
super young.
He was young, but yeah, my age.
He's like 20, 21.
When he passed, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad,
That's
dude.
crazy.
That is wild.
Yeah, so things happen, bro. Don't say, of course, he's alive if you don't know.
Oh, he
You
is.
gotta be respectful,
I
bro.
think I saw his Instagram post the other day.
Okay, good. All right.
So I'm pretty
Just
sure
making
his.
sure. I just want to make sure you're respectful to everybody and,
This guy.
where they are in their life.
Of course.
He wants to be an American man. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's truly leaving.
Wait, can I ask you though? So, you said you're a good salesman. I want to go into what you do, but what do you think is a good strategy to sell something? Since I think you don't have to talk about your specific job, whatever you do, but what's
No, I think
in your experience? What have you learned about sales?
another great question.
Thank you. That's what
I
do here.
think
that's my job.
strategy.
Generic questions.
I wouldn't say strategy. I think if you're using strategy, this terminology to describe your selling ceremony, I like to say.
Mm.
Ceremony?
Yeah, it's like a selling ceremony, right? It's like how do you like to create your own ambience for selling? How do you like to create your own energy when you're selling?
Okay.
So I don't like to use the word strategy because strategy seems like you're only planning to achieve something. Well, oftentimes in sales, you are planning to make something, right? You have an end goal. But I think what happens most time
Mhm.
during the most successful sales is that you're not using strategy. You're using, your passion, your fulfillment. And I think that comes much more naturally, much more organically.
Mhm.
And of course, if you're selling, you're meeting clients, right? And clients feel it too. It's like one of those things that you feel immediately. Like, when you walked into let's say a retail store or even online, you're going on a website to browse. It's a startup company or it's a retail store been there for the longest time. What makes them special? What makes them unique? What makes them give you the factors to choose them over the other competitors in the market? Because it's a free market. You get to shop anywhere. It's how you feel, right? You talk to, let's say you go into a car dealership, you talk to the salesperson, you feel like it's very robotic. This person just want to get on with their day. They don't want to spend any, how do you say, they don't want to give any emotional value out to you because they don't want to invest in you. Maybe because they don't have the passion for the work they do. Maybe because it's simply they're having a bad day. But either way, I think when you have the power of the passion, when you have the power of the fulfillment, when you feel fulfilled doing what you're doing, and then you have it naturally coming out of you. You seem more genuine, not because you want to be genuine to sell something, but because you're genuine, you enjoy it. And I think that's the key difference between a very successful salesman and someone who tried to be very successful, right?
You know what it's called?
What is it called?
It's called. Actually, just forgot what it's called.
But I like what you said. A lot of people treat sales like a strategy, but it's
Sales
not.
breath. Sorry, it's called sales breath.
Sales breath.
Yeah. So when you have a strategy for selling, you're trying to basically. You're waiting for the commission, right? That's what these guys, they see the commission, they see the money, like, this motherfucker's going to give me this much more money, right, if I sell them. But oftentimes, they're not very good salesmen. That's why sales is probably one of the most difficult jobs and least successful jobs, is because people just see the money. That's the only reason you're in sales, because you see the money. But you can't relay that to the customer, to the client. You have to relay to them that you're here as an assistant to them almost, right? You're here just to help them out with whatever that they've come to you for. You can't force something down somebody's throat.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, end of the day, we're in a world where you have to allocate your time efficiently. So if you're, let's say, meeting, I don't know, multiple clients. Let's say it's busy, holiday season, you're in car sales, you're meeting 100 clients a day. How do you efficiently allocate your time in order to generate the most sales? Because end of the day, as sexy as it sounds to be all filled with passion and fulfillment, you're also easily measured by the metrics that's set to you. So how do you counter that? I think that's why we're on episode 69, right? We're talking about the yin and the yang. How do we find the balance? So end of the day, I think being able to be very successful at sales, first, of course, you have to have the passion for the industry. If you have no passion, you cannot learn the details of the industry. You cannot, how do you say it, unconsciously learn. You have to always force yourself to learn. And we all know, it's a big difference. It's like you're in college, you're in university. When we start to study, like when you have to be pushed to study because of the deadline, pushed to study because of the exam, very different mentality. And I think Matt is a pro of the mentality, right? So like when back in university, when you graduated within 3 years, what was your mentality? Talk to us.
My mentality in college was, I'm going to cheat off of my friend Mike's papers and let it
False claim.
ride.
That is false claim.
Hold on, okay, so
No,
yeah. Go ahead, do you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was joking, obviously, man.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Can
Go
you
first.
sell this script to me?
Yeah,
Let's
sell.
test your selling techniques. So let's say I'm in a studio. You're selling me this pilot. How would you sell it?
So before I sell it, I would ask myself a question.
Mm.
Obviously in this case, we're setting into a scenario where I'm selling a set merchandise, so I don't get to pick. But however, if I'm selling something, first thing I would ask, is this something I enjoy myself? Right? If I don't enjoy it myself,
You won't sell it?
yeah, I have no passion for it. Why would I sell it? I wouldn't. If I don't enjoy, for example, let's say in this instance, this script, I wouldn't sell it.
You won't sell it?
No, I have no passion for it.
If we told you, Miguel, we'll give you $1 million in commission if you can sell this script for $10 million.
It doesn't matter. If I have the ability to sell a script that's worth $1 million, but I don't enjoy it, that means I'm allocating
Cap.
time to the wrong place.
Interesting. I respect that. Okay.
It's
so
cap, bro.
It's not cap.
That is cap.
Hold on. Wait, why would you take the script away from his hand? Give it back to the man.
Okay,
He hasn't finished yet. Let him.
You enjoy the script. It's a classic American TV series.
It literally says Palms,
Yes.
Pilot Eye, written by both of you.
Yeah. It's a great script. So let's say you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
What would your next question be?
What's the next thing?
That's a very interesting way to look at it, though, because a lot of salespeople, they don't really enjoy their own products, but they're just selling it. So that's a good point you're bringing up.
Value proposition. That's what is that all about? Value proposition. Where do you want to place yourself in this game or in your life? Because sure, you're selling a merchandise, you're selling a product. This product is created by someone. In this case, it's created by both of these two gentlemen.
Two very talented writers. Yes.
Very talented if it's this many pages. Did you guys just ChatGPT
It was
it
all
or
ChatGPT.
No. It's
We
actually
took-
we
no.
spent like 4 or 5 months
Yeah,
on
we
this.
took 4
For real?
months to
Yeah.
do all this. Yeah, every day.
That's
We
lovely.
worked on it.
So you have true passion. So that's why you bring the $1 million. But going back to it, why I said, Matt would probably say, that's cap. If it's $1 million, of course you saw it. But I think
100%.
if I was offered $1 million to sell this, first, my value in the society has been understood to that level, right? If they're willing to offer $1 million, either this is a really shitty script, you have to leverage $1 million to sell, or I'm just one hell of a salesman that my ticket price is $1 million. If you want me to,
Or it's a
negotiate.
great script, right? It could be the reverse.
So if you didn't enjoy it, you wouldn't sell it for $1 million?
Perhaps.
No, I think one flaw I find is you can find value in a product, and I think that's what some sales guys do. They work for a company and they don't necessarily enjoy the product, but you have to dig and you find the value within the product. And when you're able to find the value within a product, you can fall in love with something. I didn't necessarily fall in love with pallets of return inventory.
But you
He's
know
not
what you
saying
fall in
love,
love
though. He's
with?
saying passion, right?
Yeah, well, that's interchangeable.
I
I,
mean,
I
it's
didn't. I don't
different.
necessarily. I never necessarily had a passion for returned inventory. That wasn't necessarily my passion.
but you know what's your passion? Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship is my passion, and then helping other businesses set up their.
But you see the
business, yes.
value in the stuff you sell.
I
right?
see, but I had to find the value. You
Yeah,
understand
but
what I'm saying?
you do find them valuable. You're not like, oh, it's just junk, right? You don't treat it like that.
That's my point. I found the value in it. Like there's other things like this, for example, right? I find value in this innately. Like just innately, I find value in producing good work.
So you're saying love marriage versus arranged marriage? Like you fall in love,
Exactly.
and then you're just in love.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But he's saying it doesn't matter. Is that what you're saying, Mike? You're
Well-
saying I can do. Which, by the way, arranged marriage, it's the success rates are like about the same. But go ahead, yeah.
Well, I think, end of the day, I think passion and love.
Wait 1 second. Thank you for clarifying that, bro. The arranged marriages and natural marriages are
It's
the same
I mean,
success rate.
in America, it tends to be, I think, those
The
rates.
same.
Oh,
But
that was your
back
question.
home, no, I'm not asking you about arranged or love
yeah, yeah.
marriages. But I'm just asking about that analogy. Like he's saying you don't have to love the product. You're saying you have to. But then, I'm just trying to find common ground
I
between
think
the two
in my
ideas.
case, I do need to love the product. If I don't love it, I wouldn't have the motivation to learn through it, because I feel like if you're a salesperson or if you're selling something or if you're an entrepreneur trying to make your business successful, if you don't truly believe it deep down in your heart, you're simply not going to be the best at it.
Yeah, you're right.
Simply not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm going to spend my time, full time, to be a salesperson, I am going to be the best at it. And I know deep down we're all humans, so no one is superior than the other. So why can't you be at the top? So I think really what it comes down to is not brain sizes or gender or this or that. It's just pure passion.
Mm.
How much time are you willing to allocate? How much quality time are you willing to allocate? And I think that goes back to fulfillment, right? Because I feel like, for instance, I'm a car salesperson. I don't know, maybe I'm at a Mercedes dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I absolutely love cars. I know every single model. I know all the, torques, horsepower of each single car. I know which car have the heated seats with the armrest, with the holster. I know which car doesn't. I know, which car comes with how many different trims. So these really is what builds credibility for you as a salesperson.
Having
If-
knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't matter what
knowledge
I'm
of
buying. I'm either spending $100 or $1 million for that script. What I want to see for someone who's selling me that script is that they know what they're talking about.
Mm.
The only reason why I wouldn't sell it even for $1 million is because I don't know what it's talking about. I don't think that even builds me enough credibility to be credible for
Mm.
this kind of commission.
Smart answer.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I think behind every great salesman is product knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You need product knowledge.
Product knowledge, and also I think that's a fundamental, right? And like you mentioned, every salesman, if you're going to be great at it,
Yeah.
first you got to know your things,
Mm-hmm.
right? After you know your things, I think what it comes down to is soft skills. Soft skills is often, I think, the hardest thing to measure because there's no metric.
Mm.
There's no such thing as I talked to this guy, they gave me a certain rating. It doesn't happen. What really happens is it shows in the client retention part, right? Just like you, Matt. You're in the warehouse, you're making sales,
Yeah.
you're developing new distributors. What shows your soft skills? Guys come back to you.
Yeah.
Client referrals, word of mouth. End of the day, what's in the end? Bigger warehouse,
Yeah.
right? Doubling volume now. So great work. So I think that's often the hardest thing to measure. And that's the hardest thing to learn as well, because no one teaches you soft skills.
Yeah.
In
Soft skills
school.
immeasurable. Yeah.
And I think that's the most valuable skill. And I think that's essentially what differentiates us. That's why maybe certain people can be at a certain stage of their career within a certain time frame. And it might take longer for certain, the other group of people.
Yeah.
Not saying they're not equally
Mhm.
they're not equally amazing, but that at the end of the day, it's kind of like you're adding a little pile of something each day, and essentially the momentum it builds truly breaks through something. So I think soft skill is one of the things. It's like the other day, I talked to a guy. He's a lawyer, right? I asked him, what makes you become a great lawyer? What does it take to become a great lawyer? Well, he said, obviously, you got to be able to read a large quantity of documents or, I don't know, different things in a short period of time. But also, he was being very honest and transparent with me. He said, you got to be sort of gifted. You got to be able to understand things in a faster manner because that's your edge, right? That's your edge. Like for me, if I were to, trust me, I watch Better Call Saul and I really want to become an attorney. I think it's one hell of a cool job.
Better Call Saul.
You wanna be Saul.
Going to the damn litigation and shit and then just piling up documents, boom, 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 this, that. I thought it was a super cool movie.
Sure.
So I really want to be an attorney. But realistically speaking, using English as my second language, that 10 years ago, I don't know how to say Sprite, I don't think I have an edge. I just simply don't. I wouldn't read nowhere as fast as
That's
a
where I
native
disagree
speaker.
with you.
Do you really want to be a lawyer?
Not as bad as I really want to just say, hey, you know what? F that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn this thing over. I'm going to use my second language. I'm going to be the best
No, I
attorney.
think you can be a lawyer, bro.
Yeah,
not,
you can.
not that bad.
Because
but
you
it's
have a
like-
niche. Remember, we've talked about this so many times,
Mhm.
bro. You have a niche that you know Mandarin, you know Chinese, and you can have a specific law firm. You can develop your own practice in only Chinese people, like helping Chinese people out, and
Well,
that
not-
would explode. I'm telling you, that would explode, dude.
Not just that, you could do corporate law because the language of business
You
is
could
Chinese.
do corporate law, yes.
So you could do like transactional law. You could do like litigation.
100%.
You can do a lot of things in the corporate department.
I'm
in
trying to
law.
think in like a perspective where
Do you
know,
read often or no?
Not that often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do read about things I'm really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let's say for instance, I'm a car salesman. Of course, I would read all things about cars. I like to educate myself on like the latest trends and everything. But for law, I think it's such a different subject. It's a very serious subject, right? So I don't know if it's as intriguing to read.
It's not the most interesting things. you're
Because
reading.
oftentimes, like I know nothing about law, obviously. So I figure what really happens, like deep down, is you go to top law school, you get your degree, very tough, you get it, boom. After that, you start going to a law firm, you become an associate, you do this and that. But then what you're doing all day, I think, as the first at least 5 years of your career, really is just deep down diving into different cases and use it as your counter argument, right? And I think if that were to be the scenario, it doesn't intrigue me as much. And I think that's something, honestly, I think is most likely to be replaced by AI, especially all you're doing is just reading large quantity of documents and analyzing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, ChatGPT can do that in a split second, and I have to spend 5 years to be some more proficient at it, right? So
On your law school application essay, what would you say? I saw Better Call Saul and I wanted to be Better Call Mike. I wanted to be
no, I
the
think
Call
next
Mike?
Better Call Mike.
That would be a funny first line, huh?
Yeah, I saw Better Call Saul and I was like, I could do better.
I can do better.
maybe
Better
that's a
call
cool line, but
Mike. Better call Ming.
No, bro. So you're right about the first. So about law, I've talked to a bunch of lawyers. The first, it depends on where you work in law. If you do corporate law, right, your first 2 years, yeah, you're an associate.
Mhm.
If you're working at a really big corporate law firm, your starting salary will be 230 to 240,000, and you'll get bonuses as well. But you're gonna put in 12 to 14 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. Yeah, majority of the times you'll be reading documents like cases, but it is a lot of just reading and just being very, very precise and like really looking for errors, like trying to make sure you do your due diligence, what they call in the law. So yeah, the first couple of years might be like that, but then if you want to like progress and like be more clever with the law, like be more like client facing, where you're trying to bring in clients, then I think it gets more fun. You know, because your job is client retention, it's bringing in new people, maintaining relationships. Then you really become a salesman, right? If you want to like climb up the ladder, become partner, name partner, and go through all or senior associate first, for that matter. But or you could do your own practice. You could say fuck everything and just do your own thing, launch your own shop, which is very hard to do. But
Can you do that off the bat?
yeah, why not?
can?
Yeah,
Well,
who's
I
stopping
don't
you? You're just a lawyer. Yeah.
I think Abraham is right, but the only thing is, like you mentioned, I mean, right off the bat, if you're investing years of your hard work, time,
Yeah.
use into it, and
You have to love it. Yeah.
yeah, so obviously my love for
It's Better
law
Call Saul.
is
It's-
from Better Call Saul, so
yeah.
it probably wouldn't last me half a decade sitting in the room reading the,
Right. Yeah.
the scripts and
Yeah.
everything.
That I could not do that, dude. I can't do years just sitting.
But remember, that's
Due
only
diligence.
corporate law. If you're doing like human rights, if you're doing like defense attorney, that's
Yeah.
not really what
But
they
less
do.
money.
It depends. Defense attorneys can make a shit ton of money too.
Environmental law? I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, there's different types of law, but you can make a lot of money not just reading documents all day. Like you could really be in front of a jury, fighting, protecting your clients. You could be a prosecutor.
Mhm.
You could be a human rights attorney internationally. You could do a lot of things. It depends on what
and
you
off
like.
the bat, you're not doing all the due diligence work?
That
again?
there's no way around that.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the
you
first
are,
year
right?
you can, but
Yeah.
it's like any other business. Like
Yeah.
do you have to sell outside of Costco for the first 2 years? No, you could just launch your own warehouse and start a business there.
Sell outside of Costco?
Like like those like people do. Like there's different avenues to entrepreneurship. People
Mm.
can like launch their own business and like do a warehouse or do
Yeah.
a small thing. Like they could start really small
Mm.
outside like their garage or like you
Yeah,
did, you
yeah.
start you progressed.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't have to like be outside what's it called? You don't have to do due diligence for 5 years,
Mm.
You can do it within like a year, I think.
A year?
Yeah.
Like if you start your own like
Yeah, like
practice?
there's different models for entrepreneurship. Some people literally just sell shoes, bro. But some people like start stores. or,
No,
like,
but use the
yeah.
example of law because we don't know anything about law.
Yeah, law.
Yeah.
Like you can if you're really talented, you could bring together a bunch of attorneys, right?
Mhm.
Like you write a script, you bring together people, you make a film, you bring people together, and then you can launch your own law firm. Definitely doable. Very hard to do.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Yes, but there's definitely. I'm just saying, if you actually love it,
Yeah,
you could pursue it, bro.
that is
Yeah,
true.
who sells outside of Costco? I meant those people who sell outside games, like Laker games.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Like
like
some
that's
hot dogs and,
entrepreneurship,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
They-
for sure.
Or they can
100%.
just, do like a
Direct sales, yeah.
food business.
Yeah, end of the day, I think it's just going back to our original topic, right?
Most of the
Passion
time,
and how much
Yeah.
passion is left. So
You
I think
gotta
it's
love
just,
it, man.
It's like you're projecting where you're going, where's your destination, and your passion is like the fuel in your tank.
What is your true passion, regardless of what you're doing now, whatever it is? What is your true passion? You're like, my perfect world, I would do this.
In my perfect world,
In your perfect world,
I want to be a film director.
a film director?
Yes,
Okay, interesting.
I always want to be a film director.
Really?
That's my end goal.
That's your
think
end
That's
goal?
still your end goal?
No, yeah, of course. After I
Oh
get
my god!
to,
Hold on. Let's go back to the script, bro. You gotta
No,
just read the script right
after
now.
no.
No.
This is the thing, right? After I get to a certain level of my career, where I have enough discretionary income,
Mm.
I'll be a film director. I'll shoot my own film. I'll hire no sponsor. I'll shoot it exactly the way I want it, every single frame.
Interesting. See,
Well-
there's an artist in everybody.
Everybody, bro.
Everybody we meet, they have
You know
artistic
why?
goal.
I have
Why?
a concrete evidence. It's just not because I want to be a film director.
I believe you.
I was a great photographer.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to be, bragging about myself, but
It's okay, brag.
You were the Michael Jordan of photography.
okay, I'm just stating facts, right? I
Yeah.
started like taking photos when I was like
Yeah.
13. I bought my first DSLR camera. I was taking like senior photos back in Colorado for the seniors.
Really?
Yeah, I took a lot of like different landscape views. I took one in Victoria Bay in Hong Kong when I was 13, and I attended the art contest in Hayes University in Kansas City. I
Wow.
mean the Kansas State, and actually won the contest.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was actually quite amazing. I think that was the.
You never showed me this photo.
I'll show you after.
Okay.
Maybe we'll put it somewhere on the screen.
Okay.
Let the audience judge if it was worth the contest. But either way, I felt like that was the initial step of me, slowly through my passion, getting more and more confident, saying that, hey, you know what? Not only I like it, I'm great at it, and I think I'm still great at it.
Yeah.
So I'm already getting back in game, right? I got my own drone. I start shooting a lot of different videos, putting them together. I'm sure Matt saw some of my reels.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like great, fantastic footage, but I think it's like I'm building my momentum back once again.
Yeah.
Just like the day when I was start first shooting my picture when I was 12 or 13. I didn't know anything, but I still forced myself to put my camera in M, which is a mode that you have to set everything yourself. I train my eye to see, for example, this lighting, this environment, this sofa. I see this texture, I see this light, I see this surrounding light. I know exactly what is the ISO that should be. I know exactly what is that? How do you say it? The
Aperture.
1/100th of a second. The
Frames per second.
frames per second, like you take your photos, right?
Mhm.
So I train my eye to do those things. I bring my camera everywhere.
Oh,
So-
still to this day.
Back then. Now I don't have my DSLR camera no more, but I think someday I'll get another one.
You should do it.
Yeah, maybe I'll get a Sony. I had a Canon before, but
Oh,
it was a
okay.
great way to train myself. I read all the magazines because it was still back in the Skype era, right? So obviously, we don't have this much information accessible.
Do you
So-
think, would you say you love filmmaking?
I don't know about love filmmaking. I love the idea of using photo or videos to
Tell a story.
extract your idea
Uh-huh.
and explain to your audience. And this way, when you do it, it's all through your mind.
Mhm.
You have the way of controlling how the story were to be told,
Yeah, film is a director's medium. Yeah,
right?
it's-
And then that's like how you guys spend the time to write a script. You control the storyline. You
Interesting.
control each frame.
What kind of stories do you want to be told? What genre?
Now that gets a little sensitive, but
Why
Guys-
sensitive?
because it's politics.
That's what you want to talk about?
I think it's interesting
yeah, that's good.
because oftentimes when you really look at it,
How did I not know any of this, bro? That you want to be a political film director?
well, not political film.
Nah,
director.
yeah,
It's
I
just
see what
my,
you're saying.
Just my personal film that I want to use my perspective to tell a story, and if it's politics related, I think oftentimes a lot of the films, I think, right off of my head, without doing any research, I bet you over 95% of the film have a sponsor,
Mhm.
right?
You're
Sponsorship
sa-
meaning,
Sponsor meaning you're saying financial backers, like people who invest in the film,
yep,
who have a vested interest. Yeah,
meaning you're gonna have conflict of interest if you're talking about politics.
depends, because the financial advisors sometimes don't have any vested interests. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
definitely-
but anyways, whomever that invests in your
You
film,
crowdfund.
they,
too.
they want to make money, right? They want to make money.
most people lose money making film, but
Money.
you're right. Yeah, like the goal is to make money ideally,
So
and there are political interests at stake. Sure.
that is the only reason why.
Oh wait, are you saying? I'm confused. You want to talk about politics in film, or are you saying there's political interest that it's gonna affect your filmmaking?
No, I want to talk about politics in my own way. Maybe I
Okay.
want to write a different storyline. Maybe a story about a small character in their own life and how they were
Mhm.
being affected.
American politics or Chinese politics?
I can't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
Either or, yeah, sure.
either or, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
So I think, end of the day, that'll be very fun, right? Because I'm using my own perspective. I'm not influenced by anyone. I'm the director. I control the frame, and I'm also the investor because I'm backing up 100%.
Yeah.
Because if I were to do it one day, I want to do it all by myself. So I think it's gonna be interesting, and then I have some very unique ideas in my head. But end of the day, I think it will be heavily influenced by my investors. If it were to be,
I think you can go into comedy.
actually, you know what?
I think you could do that.
A comedy movie would be great.
I think you could do
It
that.
suits my energy.
Yeah.
It's not as serious as all the documentaries that you
Yeah.
see. It brings out some dark humor jokes in a very natural, organic way, right?
You don't need for film, bro. If you really want to make a feature film, you don't need like huge investors. You could literally crowdsource movies. My friends have done that, and it's definitely doable.
But
So if you really wanted to make it, I understand where you're coming from for sure, but
in
it's
my
doable.
head,
Yeah.
in my head, a film is different than obviously the word a video or a short film or this and that.
Yeah.
I think a film in my head somehow I hold a very high place to it. It's like an opera. It has to be perfect.
You could do it in $1 million, a perfect film. There's been like Oscar-nominated movies within $1 million budget.
But what if there's certain scenes that I cannot allocate enough funds
Yeah,
for?
I feel so. You want to do like a big budget,
He wants it on
proper,
a big screen, bro.
Yeah, but Oscar-nominated means
No,
it's on a
like
big
something
screen.
you can play in the IMAX, those type of things.
Yeah, I'm in big screen.
So you want like an action? You want like a big film, like a $50 to $100 million budget?
I don't know about 50 to 100 million. I think that's a little too excessive. But
Yeah.
I think certainly I want to have enough funds where I feel confident.
Creatively
if-
comfortable.
Yeah, if
I
I
see what
want to
you
do
mean,
something
okay.
different, I don't feel like, oh,
You're strapped.
The money.
yeah.
The thing is, you'll always feel that in film. There will always be less money than what you really want.
Yeah.
Avatar
but if
was what?
we-
How
Yeah.
much was that? 300 million or?
Still,
400
like
million?
I'm sure they lost their budget
But
restrictions.
because that's because I'm speaking from my perspective now, right? So obviously my mind is being limited on the disposable income that I can forecast for seeing right now. But who knows? Me and Matt were already talking about next year hitting 10 mil. So I think
There you go, man.
how far is 10 mil from a billionaire? We're 1% there.
That's insane, huh? To think about it that way.
1%.
There you go, man.
How many billionaires are there in planet Earth? Last time I asked, I think it was
5,000-6,000,
No, 2,000.
2,000.
How many billionaires are there in Earth? 2,208.
There you go. And how many people are there in the world?
7
billion?
We're approaching 7 billion.
7 billion? I think we're 8 billion now, right?
We're
No,
7 point
no.
something.
Regardless,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
a lot of billions of people, 2,200 billionaires.
But yeah,
You could make 10 movies with 10 million.
when you look at the millionaires, the number, boom, just
Would you want?
quadruples.
But would you want to do that? You have 10 mil. Would you want to allocate $1 million or more towards one of your films? Would you
not
do that?
not at a level of 10 million.
No.
I think 10 million these
If you had
days,
100 million, would you allocate money towards a
1
film?
million,
I don't know about a million. Whatever you feel comfortable with doing.
100 million sounds like a reasonable amount.
So you have to be at 100 mil to make your first film.
Jeez.
Yeah, like I said,
Oh my
if
god.
I give up my dream to chase a career, I either be really successful at it and go right back at it, or I don't.
Wait, explain what you're
Like
saying.
if I haven't hit the certain benchmark I set in my heart,
Yeah.
I don't think that's called successful. You know, I'm not saying like you have setting a super unrealistic goal, but I think I always believing that you have to dream far enough. You have to aim for 100 to even get to 80. You have to aim
Yeah.
for
No,
120,
that's right.
So,
That's right.
so that's one
Yeah.
thing. I
So what's your
believe in.
dream?
My dream?
Yeah.
Be financially free and then shoot my own films, and then I have plenty of passive income. I don't have to worry about different things. So I think, you know, if I can really just sit down, spend time to create my own film, doing hobbies I like an Instagram post I send you, going to Japan to do golf just on a random Sunday,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's like a really cool dream to have.
Okay. So you eventually your dream is get $100 million, make my first film, or whatever financial amount that may be.
Not exactly 100 million,
Yeah.
but
He's
of
maybe
course.
$1 billion.
I think
That'd
if
be
we-
nice.
You know, when you really just sit down and look at it, when you look at a billionaire, when you look at this person, do we personally think they're spiritually more intelligent than us?
I
No.
don't think so.
No, right? So why can't we?
We can 100%.
Right? We can. Of course we can. So
One thing about becoming a billionaire versus a millionaire, because millionaire is extremely possible. I mean,
it's certainly doable.
tons of people are millionaires in the States, right? In the United States, tons of people. 'Cause in the
But-
50s, 60s,
Millionaire
but billionaire is completely different.
millionaire can be different, you know, defined by so many different ways because so many people owns property.
Yeah, net
and they
worth.
easily
and-
become
right.
I feel like
Yes.
$1 million cash flow is a true millionaire.
$1 million liquid is a true millionaire.
Yeah, liquid.
Yeah. $1 million. That in my opinion.
Not stocks, not
Yeah.
options, like cash.
But maybe not options. Maybe stocks because that's sellable.
But
That's
it's
But
still
also-
stocks
liquid.
is wealth.
Yeah.
Like real tangible money is like how much income do you have in your checking account? You know, like that.
Yeah, liquid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like disposable discretionary income.
Yeah, or cash. Regardless, becoming a billionaire, you have to have. There's some idea that's transformative of the human race. That's the reality. You don't have to have some transformative idea to become a millionaire. That's just not the truth, right? At
Yeah.
all. But to become a billionaire, you have to truly impact something of the humankind, and that is difficult. That's not an easy task, right? So it's one thing to have the idea, because I think we all have ideas, but to make that put that idea into fruition, there's so many more aspects that come with it, right? You have to have the right team, and you have to meet the right team. That's a very difficult proposition, right? Because you could become a good businessman and surround yourself with businessmen, but you might not have the developer. You might have a developer, but that developer might not have the same passion for the project as you, right?
That is true. As you scale up your business, you're going to need more support, more help. And if you meet the wrong people, of course, they're not going to put in the same energy as you.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be lucky if you meet someone even putting 90% as you.
You'll be lucky to meet somebody that wants to help you on your journey, 100%.
So when you think of your dream, do you think of it in like monetary terms, like 10 million benchmark, 100 million, 500 million?
No, I think the amount doesn't really equal the dream, right? Because dream is so hard to measure. I think dream is like an illusion. And an illusion is sort of like something you can feel too, right? When you're in your dreams, you can feel something. And it's like when I feel like I'm at that stage, I'm there. But that's not like it's hard to, there's no metric for it. It's just how I feel. Right.
Let's say hypothetically you feel amazing, but your net worth is like $1 million. Would you say you're successful at that point, or?
I think, from a mentality standpoint, I'm probably successful because I'm extremely happy.
Mm-hmm.
From a financial state, based on the current depreciation, I think I'm nowhere near successful.
Really? Even if you have $1 million? You're better than 99.99%
I don't know about $1 million and feeling successful. That's
really.
That seems pathetic.
That seems that day.
I don't know, like if you only made to $1 million and you feel successful, that just seems pathetic. Like I feel like
at least 10 million.
That's
right?
just sad.
That's sad.
Like
Jeez.
I don't know, like if that's all it takes for you to feel successful.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you feel amazing, but then you just have $1 million, and you feel like, yeah, I feel life is good. I have $1 million.
Sure, I think
happy.
it's a temporary milestone. I don't think we can nowhere near to use the words that start with S. It's a milestone.
So you do think of dreams and success in like monetary terms, though, which is fine. You know?
No. I just felt like, I don't know, like in today's world, $1 million you barely can.
$1 million is not even a house in Irvine.
It is not.
Yeah, that's the point, I think.
Yeah, you go into Irvine, you're barely homeless. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I just felt like, feeling happy and feeling successful is two different ways.
But I think I disagree. The reason why I asked that question is I think $1 million is enough. I'm not saying that's all the money you'll earn, but like if you have $1 million, that's enough to feel happy.
Yeah.
Like you can afford the basic necessary
And
things
also,
in
what?
life.
How old are you?
You can live beyond your means. I don't know. Like let's say
Don't get me
40,
wrong, $1 million
45.
is a lot of money,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's considered successful.
See, that's my problem with the world today is we associate monetary success with success. Like, if somebody has a lot of money in their bank account, we think they're successful. But the
Depends
thing
what
is,
they do. Depends on what industry. Depends on the prospect. If you tell me this person only collects bottles and cans from the drinks that they drink, getting the CRV bag, they got $1 million. Sure, you're extremely successful. But if you're telling me this person are doing whichever,
I see what you're saying.
let's say you're doing like you're a car dealership. Come
Yeah.
on, your dealership costs $30 million to build,
Yeah.
and you got $1 million. I don't think that's successful.
yeah, but I don't
ratio,
think that should matter. I
comparison.
think like well, the thing is when I was growing up, I don't know, I was thinking about my life. I know a lot of people think about money, but I have never been like inspired by money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it definitely. I would love to have $1 million. Don't get me wrong.
No one gets
but
inspired by money. Everyone gets inspired by what money brings you.
That's Jenish has told me that before. We were talking about this in high school, and he was talking about money. He's like, why is money so important to people? And I guess he went down this rabbit hole, and he was listening to some guru or something, and he was like, it's not the amount in the account that makes you happy. It's what it brings you.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff that it can buy, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But you level out. Like my thing is like if $1 million isn't enough for you, then like then you're like entering like a really kind of like edgy stage where like no amount of money will make you really happy. You know
That's
what I'm
the
saying?
reality, I think, of every human being on this planet. No amount of money will ever make them satisfied.
Here, so going back to it, we're using the terminology successful, right?
Mhm.
So if we're talking about, let's say, $1 million, then going back to what we talked about earlier is what it brings you. Like we said earlier, going to
Yeah.
Irvine doesn't even bring you a house. So I don't know how are you gonna be super happy if you can't even buy a house to have a roof over your head, let alone going to buying or acquiring luxurious goods. This is not even meeting base necessities.
Oh no, if you have $1 million cash, bro, you could finance a home, and then eventually 20 years down.
But I don't know
the line-
about financing. Would financing make you happy? Would financing make you joyful? Is that something that you essentially want from the deep down in your heart? So that's why I think, even though I'm not $1 million yet, but I don't think that's considered successful. If you cannot even have the basic necessity in your life.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think it is any figure
Yeah.
that you could tell me that would make me say, "Oh, you're successful." I think success. You should measure success by how fulfilled you feel and the impact you're having on the world. As long as you feel you're impacting more lives, I think you're successful. Because there's been a lot of rich people. Yeah, it's very hard to be a billionaire for sure, but there's been a lot of rich people in the history of America. They come and they go, generational wealth. But the people that are remembered in the history of the world are people that can impact, and a lot of people find really smart ways to impact people through their money. They do philanthropy, they launch charity organizations, and they actually find micro ways to help people, So I think it's more important to impact people.
I
And then
think that's the
byproduct
goal.
and the byproduct of that is you'll make money if you impact more lives, right? There's
yeah,
a way for you to make money.
Going back to
somehow.
what we're
One sec,
talking
one sec.
about.
That's the goal, though, right? The goal
Yeah.
is to because the thing is, bro, just with humans, we're not single faceted, right? We're multifaceted.
Right.
So there's multiple things that might make us feel like we have a hole in our heart, right?
Mhm.
It's maybe, and I guarantee, I think everybody feels that I need this. I need to make more money to feel better. I need to make impact to feel better. I need love to feel better. I need to travel to feel better. There's all these types of things that make us who we are, right? Make
Travel
us
is
happy.
not gonna fix anything. But
No, but it makes you
travel
feel
can fix a
experienced.
lot.
No, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I
my
disagree
point
with
is
that.
though, my point is, the goal is to have this. It's like a I forgot what the Buddhist term is, but there's a Buddhist term where it's like a circle and you can fill
Yin and
all
yang?
of it. Not the yin. What's that?
Nirvana.
It's not nirvana. I forgot. It's a philosophical term I learned about. It's fine. But it's basically it's this giant circle, right? And
Right.
there's all these facets of life, and as long as you're able to bring most of these into, you're gonna feel more successful. But if your single facet you're chasing is money, 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 and you hit the 10 mil, but you don't have family, because that happens a lot. You don't have family, you're not going to feel successful. If your entire life is dedicated towards family, 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 you're going to wish, damn, I wish I had more money. I wish I had more money. So the goal is yin and yang, right? Balance yourself out,
yin and yang.
yin and yang.
Yang.
Balance yourself out and try to do multiple things at the same time, which requires energy.
I agree. But I think, going back to what we initially started talking about, I was talking about passion fulfillment, right? That's something I'm always interested in.
Yeah.
I think, like you mentioned, money at times it could be a byproduct, but most of the times it's a necessity. Right? I think only when we pass a certain stage of our career, you can really think that, oh, I'm purely here for passion, purely here for fulfillment, and great, I'm on the right career track. It brings me money. But at a certain stage, at the very beginner stage of your life, money is crucial. Money is what keeps you alive for your passion. So I think really depends on where we are in life and where we're going in life. So I think at my current stage, I'm happy to say that, I have passion, I have fulfillment, and I have, things I want to empower to. And I feel fulfillment from the things I empower to, from the people I empower to. And I think that, of course, very lucky to be, right? Because so many times I go into different stores, and so many times I meet different people, I can tell on their face they're not fulfilled. They're not feeling the passion. They're struggled. They're depressed. They're not really feeling the same. I can feel the vibe. They don't have to tell me they're having a bad day. I can just tell that they don't want to be there, but they're just tangled there because of money.
Yeah.
Because they're not set in a route where they can just say, this is the passion and fulfillment I want to go with, and money is a byproduct. It simply is not. The money is a product they're chasing for because they're just not at that stage yet. I think when we look at it, we just have to look at what audience are we speaking to, right? Of course, I think we're probably very lucky to sit here to say that, we're chasing our passion. I'm very lucky to say I'm chasing my passion, chasing my fulfillment. But a lot of people simply don't have the capacity currently in their life to say so because the things that they tangle themselves in.
So
Or the
how do they
things-
get there?
No, first, you guys, in my opinion, right? It's everyone, right? When you first started working, your first job, if you're lucky, great. it's going to be a great job that you enjoy a lot. If you're unlucky, it's just happened to be a job that you either did a part-time when you're in university or master or high school to provide you additional income. I don't realistically think over 90% of people flipping burgers in McDonald's really enjoy that as a passion. It's robotic. There's
Right.
no passion.
But how do you go from flipping burgers to your passion? That's
You
the
got to
question.
first build your initial wealth. You got first build your small fountain.
So you think suck it up, work McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Save.
If that's all you can find at the moment, yes, suck it up. It's just apparently that's what happens in life right now. If you're gonna play the blame game, unfortunately, you're gonna be there for a long, long time.
The reason I'm asking is because, like, I agree with what you're saying. A lot of people can answer the question what, right? That's what you answered. But it's the why and the how. That's the question that everybody wants to know and nobody seems to have the answer to.
You know why?
And so the why and the how, though, is what. Go ahead, real quick.
A lot of people don't want to share, right?
Don't want to share?
A lot of people
I don't
want to
necessarily
share.
think semi. I think the why and the how is there's a huge amount of laziness in people. That's just I think I can just bring it down to that. Because I think if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, I can ask you, what are you doing in your free time? You're working 8 hours a day max. 8 to 10 hours a day.
Matt.
What are you doing in your free time?
Perspectives. You know, I think when we look at someone who's currently in that stage of life, earning minimum wage, which currently in California I think is $22, which is not so bad, but
22
considering
now? Oh wow.
I think
Is
it's
it
22 now.
$22?
Yeah, last
No,
time I
no,
passed
no.
by
I don't
In and Out, I
think so,
think they
bro.
said they're hiring for $22. However, it's not too bad. But however, when you look at the cost of the living and everything, you know, Matt, I think one thing at the end of the
16
day
or 18, yeah.
is that no minimum wage I think is 16 or 17, but fast
Yeah.
food has increased.
Yeah, like Panda
Ask-
Express I think pays 22.
I'm looking
Chick-fil-A.
it up.
How much is the
16
minimum
per
wage
hour.
for fast food in California?
I looked at 16.
I love this Apple. Yeah.
Establishes a minimum wage of $20 per hour for fast food workers beginning April 1st, 2020.
Real quick, you know what's bullshit? So it said
What
20.
year? What year did it say?
2024.
Yeah, it's $20 an hour
April.
for fast food. But you know what's bullshit
Really?
about that?
Yeah, April 1st.
Restaurants don't account for that. So if you're going to like
Huh.
El Torito or you're going to Red Robin
Didn't
or
know
something
that.
like that,
Mhm.
these workers are still being paid $15, $16 an hour. And but
Mm.
the fast food guys are being paid 20 to 22, right? That's bullshit, dude. I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
So McDonald's people make $20 an hour.
Yes.
You know, Matt, going back to what you were saying, no, I think you bring up a good point. I think your initial question, if I'm not mistaken, was if they're only working 8 hours a day, what are they doing with the rest of their time?
Mm-hmm.
Not to better themselves, but to stuck in the same situation, right?
If they're unhappy, my thing is if they're unhappy with where they are, they're not fulfilled like your point was, right? These people, you can see in their eyes, they feel sad what they're doing. They feel like they're not enough. They're not making enough money. Whatever it is, whatever reason they're sad about. There's a reason they're sad, and it's because they're not doing something that they want to be doing. And so in order to get there, like you said,
I think.
wait, let me finish, brother. Let me
Yeah.
finish. The reason they're not getting there is because they're not doing enough. There's energy and effort that they're not putting into it, and they need to be putting into it. That's it. It's a simple answer.
So I haven't been to McDonald's flipping burgers, but I do somehow feel in my mind that if I were to be trapped in that situation, standing 8 hours a day, doing labor-intensive work, being measured by a big companies that have a set of rules, I would be personally mentally exhausted. So I think sometimes it's very easy to say that we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that. But it's very hard if we were to be actually in the same exact scenario, right? The home they go back into, how well is the environment?
100. I'm not deterring anybody from their personal lives. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of bullshit going on.
I just think it's
But it's
all different. But your idea was right, but it's very difficult
the
to execute.
book Think and Grow Rich. It's not about money. If you read the book, it's not about money. It's about how bad do you want it enough. If you want something bad enough, nothing is going to deter you.
I think it all starts with this idea of having a big dream and really believing you could do it.
Yeah.
Because most people who are flipping burgers, and let's say somebody wants to be an actor, they're like, it's really hard. You gotta be the son of a director, or son of an actress, or son of a producer. I'm a son of nobody, so I probably won't be able to make it. Let me just save up, and I'll think about it like 3-4 years down the line. See, the problem with that is the mentality. They're starting from a place of fear. and they're anticipating failure. The thing is, if you really are passionate about something, you got to go all in.
That's not the group of people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The
No,
group
I
of
understand what
people-
you're
Finish your
saying.
point,
But
finish your
like,
point.
if you really believe in like your dream, right, you got to go all in, and you have to operate from a place of control and success. Like the only option is I'll be successful. And you think about what are you gonna do when you become successful. If you think about all the reasons why you might fail, you're gonna fail. That's what I've like seen. What you're talking about is important too, because you're right. We can sit here and say like the McDonald's worker can allocate their time efficiently, but let's say they have domestic violence going on in the home, right? Like
They have a
it's
kid,
definitely hard.
they have a family.
Or they have a kid, it's hard. But his point is, if you really want it bad enough, you can work around it. You could sleep 4 hours, work 20 hours. If you really want something like more than anything in the world, you can do it. And that's why there's only a handful of people who really make it or feel fulfilled or are successful, especially in like things like the film industry or like, athletes or billionaires.
I know people, bro, that they have very difficult jobs. They don't make a whole lot of money, and they want a better life. And I see the free time. I see what they do in their free time because I'm in their personal circle, and they're not doing enough. They're just not doing enough. Maybe the answer is because they don't know how to do it, but that is also that's a personal problem because you can learn how to do something, right? We have the internet. We have people in our lives that know how to do things. Whatever it is, if it's education, I mean, there's free education online, right? There's education you can go. There's resources, grants.
What I think, realistically speaking, well, we're talking about ideology, right? But I think end of the day, it is very hard to give someone advice or recommendation. I think it is also very hard to, in a certain way, we're not saying we're judging, but we shouldn't really judge someone if they're not successful because they're not putting in the work.
No,
I'll give
bro.
you a very live example.
Hold on, Mike.
Yeah.
The point was they're not happy in their lives, and it's why aren't they happy in their lives? Not about Matt thinking they're unhappy. You get what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's very different.
But the thing is, I'll give you a very lively example. So let's say I have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he used to be, don't
Call
have
him
to.
Michael.
Let's not call me Michael.
Or Miguel.
No.
We're not gonna use my name. But let's say, I have a friend.
Samantha.
They used to have nothing to worry about. Not a lady. They might just
Raphael,
want to, they might have to just all they have to worry about every day is just school, home, food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very simple, right?
Yeah.
Like most of us, maybe at one point.
Yeah.
Right? So in that scenario, it's great. But then let's say all of a sudden, the family, let's say the family is a small business owner. The business went down. The mom and the dad all of a sudden got no income. And then quality of life drastically dropped down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this kid went from someone who only have to worry about their schoolwork, their food, the roof on top of their head. I mean, they don't have to worry about that because they own their home, right? But now they have to sell their home because they have to pay back the debt that they owe on their business.
Mm-hmm.
So they move the environment that they live in. They lost the quality of the food that they used to eat. They lost the friends that they have at their school because they moved the district. And they started working. And let's say I start talking to this friend. I look at him because I didn't been through what he said. I say, hey, maybe what you're doing right now probably isn't the best for you. And I think I have something better waiting for you. Somehow maybe it frustrates me why this person wouldn't step forward and take the offer. Because I have a very high percentage chance that I can make it happen, right? I want to turn this person's life around maybe a little bit. But somehow maybe this person feel like, you know what? There's so many changes that's already happening in my life. This feels like another uncertainty that's going to happen. So I want to stay where I'm at. Do I have the right to blame him? I don't think so, right? Do I have the right to keep pushing him? I don't think so. But I do think I had the right to present idea to him. And if that's the way he felt, I respect his opinion because I never been through, for example, I'm talking about purely my example, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way he been through life, I had never been through. So I think if I were to push further, it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, but it's not you pushing them. Like the advice we're giving, we're not giving them advice. We're saying, hey, like I'll talk about myself, right? If I feel unhappy about myself, why do I feel unhappy? And it's because of maybe monetary ventures or whatever, right? then what can I do about it? I'm not saying Mike has to give Matt advice for that.
No,
I'm saying people don't understand how to answer the question why or how.
I think from my example, my point is, sometimes in life,
You want stability. Is
yeah,
that
people want stability.
right?
They don't want more uncertainties because they felt like there's so much things. For example, you're working minimum wage, you're paying your car, you're paying your rent, you're paying your food, you're paying for a kid, maybe you're paying for a kid's education
Yeah.
too. There's so much things that can happen at one split second. Your whole life can collapse in that 1 second.
No, you're right. You're right. So the thing is, what you're saying is you can't blame that person for not taking that risk, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but let me flip it for you.
That's
So-
a realization I came to find out.
Right, but let me as you were talking, right, I was like, okay, good point, but let me flip it for you. So let's say there's two people, right? Let's say this notebook is person A, these
Right.
glasses are person B, okay?
Okay.
So person A has a really comfortable life, stable household. Let's say they're 23 years old, okay? Stable family, mother, father both work, everything is good, no financial problems, everything is good.
Right.
Now let's say this is person B. Let's say they live with their single mother. Dad's not in the picture. Single mother's struggling. They have to work at McDonald's, flip burgers to provide for the family, right? And let's say the mother has, God forbid, cancer, and she can't work anymore. So now he's the sole provider. Now, actually, in my opinion, the struggles that are happening to person B are very unfortunate, but they might be a blessing in disguise because they might be able to motivate this person to work that much harder. Whereas this person is living in comfort. He doesn't have anything to inspire him or motivate him. He's getting food on the table every day. He has a stable family. He doesn't have anybody driving him. But person B has the whole family driving him. He's the sole provider now, so he must do something bigger than flipping burgers. So in that instance, his mother having cancer becomes the drive for him to make more money, to look elsewhere, and literally maximize 24 hours in a day. Because if he doesn't do it, his family will literally die. His mom will die. He will collapse. Eventually, he might, go into homelessness because they don't have money to pay the rent. So I actually think, in your example, you're right, bro. Like, most people, it's very hard to take risks. But when things happen to you, when the light switch just goes off, that might be a blessing by God in disguise, because I think that can be one way of God telling you, like, you need to fix whatever you're doing because there's this much time in the day and you can maximize every single hour instead of living in comfort and, not having anything to motivate you. Because I think that happens a lot.
Great example and great story, Abraham. But I think if we're looking at from a reality term,
Yeah, no, realistically, it's hard.
Realistically speaking, and to speak facts, choices are, let's say, wealthy family, poor family. Chances are you're just, it doesn't matter what kind of honey you get soaked in that make you so lazy. You just simply put it on a higher ladder no matter what,
A
right?
what?
Like a ladder that you just simply,
Yeah.
for example,
Telling rich kids, right?
like,
Like,
you like say if your parents willing to donate like a whole building to a school, yeah, you're getting into that school not because of
Sure, yeah.
how hard.
Bro,
you study.
life is hard. That's not what we're not saying life's easy. Life is very, very difficult.
We're not saying it's easy. What I'm trying to say
Reality,
is,
practicality, right? Yeah.
like earlier we said,
Yeah, but
when
just like you said earlier too, like if there's billionaires out there, why can't we be a billionaire? Why?
my point is, earlier we used the example of family A, family B. Family A lose motivation because of the comfort. Family B have motivation because of the needs to provide. But my point is, in most of the time, in reality, family B, even with the motivation, they'd be lucky to get to the stage of the family
You're
A.
right. It's hard. It's definitely
Like,
hard.
you're taking chances to be at the borderline.
Yeah. No, it's a huge risk. You're right. But what he's saying is it's not impossible.
I mean, of
it's
course, it's not
possible.
impossible.
Yeah.
But what
Every
I'm trying
rich
to say,
family had to start.
But that's my problem. A lot of people think it's impossible for them, but they fail to realize it's possible.
I'm not
It's
saying it's
yeah.
impossible.
I'm not saying you're saying
What
that.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is, these two, like family A, family B,
Yeah.
either soaking honey and lazy,
Yeah,
or flipping
100%.
burgers and working harder.
Yeah.
The reality is, even if you're, family B, sure, there might be a very slight chance this family B might be a billionaire in one day, but what is the 99% chance?
You're right. Yeah.
Get to the borderline of family A. You're barely reaching the next stage of the border. Like, that's why they use the word upper class, middle class, lower class, right?
Mhm.
It's like so many times it's very unfortunate, and we see it sometimes it takes generations to build that wealth, right? That's why it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
generation, because
Yeah.
the first generation spend their entire life dedicated to a certain business, to
100%.
barely build it to the borderline of middle
Yeah.
class.
But yeah, no, you're right, bro. Like, and there's nothing wrong with choosing stability. You know, like I wouldn't blame the person flipping burgers if the guy just wants a nice corporate job and he's not able to be a billionaire. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you suck. You're
Yeah.
like, but if he really wants to launch his own company and start up, but that's like his dream, it's possible. I just want to, like, if somebody's out there is listening to that, like,
Mhm.
yeah, chase that dream because it's possible. You know, but there's a way to provide for your mother in that instance and chase your dream. I think it's definitely possible. It's gonna be very hard on you.
I'm not saying it's not
Yeah.
possible. All I'm saying is just
Practical.
facts,
Oh yeah, bro.
right? So I
Yeah.
think
But
also
what's facts about
yeah.
that? That's what I'm not understanding. What's facts?
The
about
fact
that?
is,
the
it's
reality
it's
of what I have
hard
been
for most
observing.
people to do that.
Of course, bro.
Yeah.
But everybody with any success has to go through hard times.
Yeah.
See, this is. You want to know?
That's
a fact?
why there's only 2,000 billionaires, right?
No, but not. Do you want to know what's a fact?
Okay.
Whether you are a billionaire or you are a very poor person, you have to go through hard times. Okay, it's you choose your hard. You can choose to not be able to afford and go through that hard, or you can choose to work your ass off and go through that hard. What choice do you want?
Of course, you want to go through the hard and get what you want.
But that's exactly my point. Majority of people will not choose that. That's why majority of people are not billionaires.
Because it takes time for them to experience that hard. Whereas the other things, it's like you're either, it's going to be an accident that's going to happen. You're either stepping on gas and boom, right goes through it,
Mm-hmm.
but you're getting a reward after that. Or it's going to take years for that car to hit you.
Yeah.
You can just sit in your leather seat, turn on the ventilation seats, and
Yeah.
wait and listen to your stereo. I don't know. It's like what you're saying, right? So it's like, are you willing to? It's like, those pain, those hardship you mentioned for people who choose not to take that route, it accumulates over time. It's not like boom, once it hits them really hard, right to the ground, never getting up again, right? It's very slow. It eats you up. Well, the other thing is like you're starting to take the risk right away. Just like you, like say you become an entrepreneur. Boom, you give up your job. You got no active income coming in, and you are purely on your own,
Yeah.
managing, and that pain is right at you. It's not like a slow corporate pain that slowly eats you away.
But you do it because
You jump
want
right
to
into
do
the
it.
alligator. Like you'd be lucky if the acid is not strong enough to dissolve you, right? So that's the difference, right? I think that's why, I think you made a fair point about whether if you want to face the hardness straight up or if you want the hardness to hit you. But I think another way to look at it is that these two hardness are very different, the way it hits you. Very different. That's why most of us are not entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because very few of us knows, like for example, the level of the pain is 100. Very few of us choose to have that level 100 pain right away,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
We'd rather just take very small amount of pain, one at a time, right? And then it's more durable. It's more, it's more like say easy to
Endure. Yeah.
adopt,
Yeah.
right? So that's why I think,
That's not. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
My major qualm is when, like what you said, you see in somebody's eyes that they don't like what they're doing, they don't like their life, and they're not doing anything about it. That's my whole point. Why? If you work a corporate job, I don't have any problem. If you are a janitor, if you are a flipper of burgers at McDonald's, if you enjoy it, because for a lot of people in the world come from South America. You come from South America, you come from Africa, you come from very difficult parts of the world. You come to the States and you flip burgers. That is your dream. And these people are happy. You see them, they're happy, they're smiling. Some of these a lot of customers of mine, construction workers, very difficult, but they're always fucking making jokes, dude. Do you think they make much money? They probably don't make the most money.
I think Zach brings a really good point, which is earlier, let's say I see someone, I don't know, at Walmart, cashier. They're checking out. I see their frustration on their face. And I thought about your example mentioning about you either face the hardship or let the hardship hit you, right? So in that case, maybe like what we were talking about earlier, maybe to that person, that hardship they're going through right now does not seem greater or equal to if they were to take their own risk and become more successful. Maybe for those person or that person specifically, they're currently happy where they're at. Maybe not happy, but they think if
They're
they're
content.
doing a comparison, they'd rather be at there, right? Because maybe the risk is not smaller, it's not bigger. I mean, the reward is not bigger than the risk.
Yeah.
So once that reward exceeds the risk, people start to think, right? That's the stage of when you start to think about becoming an entrepreneur or the next stage of your life. When the reward is excessively larger than the risk, you start to putting actions, right? So I think it's all come down to the ratio of how individually us value this, right? So how do we value it? How do I value, for example, if I were to become an entrepreneur, how do I value the reward and the risk? Is it currently equilibrium, or is it currently greater, or is it currently significantly greater than the risk?
I guess it depends what you want to do, right?
Yeah. So really comes down to what do you want in life, right? Sometimes, let's say, us three, we're sitting in this room, we're having this Gen Z speak pod. You know, you guys been doing how many episodes now? Almost
69.
70.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, prior.
Yeah.
That's much more than 70 hours of work. And how many people are willing to put in 7 minutes for a video clip on TikTok?
Yeah.
So I think it depends on what you want, right? It's just apparently not enough of us want that. And we can't,
I
of course,
agree
we
with that.
cannot
Yeah,
blame
that
them.
I
For,
agree with.
I think we cannot blame them for not wanting that, right? I think we all want different things. I think your pod is gonna hit 1 million subscribers, more than 1 million subscribers.
God
right?
willing.
Much more. I'm not even knocking on wood, because if you're putting in this kind of work, I think essentially something is going to happen.
Right.
And I think maybe by the time we hit 1 million, I'll come back on this pod again.
Yeah.
Do
1 million
another,
subs, all right.
1 million subs. I'll do another pod, and I think that's a destiny, because you have that mentality, right? Because that's what you want.
Yeah.
But when people don't want it, then they have to start doing the value proposition.
That's
and
a
for
great
you,
point, yeah.
you don't have to do the value proposition, because you want it badly enough that
Yes.
you don't sit in bed. For example, this morning before we met, you don't sit in bed. You think, I want to do 70 episodes until we hit 1 million subscribers. There's no this is greater or equals than that. So a lot of us, when we're doing it, we think about the value proposition. We think about if the reward is bigger than the risk. But the reality is, like what Abraham was saying earlier, when you have that passion, when you have that fulfillment, it just comes naturally. And then that's, I think, essentially what makes something or someone successful, right? Or what will essentially make this channel successful is that fulfillment, is that you're not putting an equal, greater, or smaller sign next to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I agree with that, man. Like everybody, see, that's good. We towards the end of the podcast, we all agree that everybody has their own metric of success, and you can't
Absolutely.
blame somebody for not wanting more, and you can't blame somebody for wanting more, or vice versa. So I think that's, I would want to. I think I've told this to Matt. There's the greatest movie of all time. I don't know if you've seen it, 3 Idiots.
He's been talking about every single podcast
Which
for the
one?
last 10 podcasts.
There's 3 Idiots. It's a Bollywood film, but there's a great scene in the film, bro. There's a scene where this guy tells his friend, he's like, don't chase after success. Chase after ability. Like, chase after competence. When you do that, success chases after you. And I think that's, like, I've been trying to implement that so much in my life. Like, I watched this movie 14 years ago, but, I mean, I see scenes from it, and it's just so true because...
Oh, the metrics. Yes.
Huh?
The metrics, right?
No,
Talking-
3 Idiots.
No, 3 Idiots.
That's
3 Idiots, yeah. Not The Matrix.
Yeah.
That's not the greatest movie of all time. What are you talking about?
I was trying to
Three-
think in my head. I was like, which one did they say?
No,
Wait,
no.
what?
3
But
Idiots
yes.
is a Bollywood film, but like really, like a lot of people out there are just chasing success. They're
It's
chasing
literally
money.
names 3 idiots.
3 Idiots, yeah, like 3 Idiots. Look it up, bro. You'll love that film. It's a great film. Yeah, there you go. 3 Idiots, like this podcast right now. Yeah.
No, I think it's 3 young men with dreams and passion. So 3 young men with dreams and passion. I think, yeah, Abraham mentioned a great point. I think end of the day, we did come to an agreement at the end of this podcast. I don't want to use the word judge. We shouldn't discuss, how people treat their passion and fulfillment, because we obviously all have different passion and fulfillment. It's just sometimes maybe the passion and fulfillment weren't being allocated to the correct place, right?
What I would say to that, I would judge a person if they really wanted something, like they dreamed of it all their lives,
If
and
they
they
talk about it all the
refuse-
times.
Yeah, and they refuse to take the initiative. Then I will be like, I'll hold them accountable and be like, dude, you've been talking about this for so long, pursue it. Like, go all in. Like you're being unfair to yourself. So that's what I would judge somebody if they really want something and
do
they're
nothing about
scared
it.
and they're scared to
Yeah.
really chase after it.
That's it, dude. It's if you want something, just do it. There's no honor in sitting still at all.
Yeah.
If you're afraid, yeah, no shit. Everybody's afraid. That's I think, probably one of the biggest fears, uncertainty. That's why everybody fears death, right?
Absolutely.
So why not do something about it? Everybody's life is hard. I don't like hearing that. Oh, life's hard. Oh, I got this shit going on. I got that going on. Yeah,
'Cause they're-
everybody's got something going on.
Because when you're doing that, what you're doing essentially is comparing, like what we talked about earlier, risk and rewards. So end of the day, if that's something you really want, just like when I talk about I want to make my film, I don't think about the risk and reward because that's something I want. I don't think about the return. Just think about what you want and put your action into it. Because if you think about the risk and rewards, what you're always often gonna feel, especially I think Matt can agree on this as an entrepreneur, you're gonna feel unbalanced. You feel like I put in so much work. I put in much more work than before when I was in my previous job. I put in my entire life into this. I put my Christmas into this. But some things are not coming out yet. But when we're doing the comparison, it brings you down. We cannot do the comparison. We cannot put the equal, greater, smaller signs.
What you're
We just simply put your dream ahead of you and you chase for it.
See, I'm a believer. I agree. I get what you're saying. I am a believer of comparing, though, for myself. When I compare, it pushes me. Whether
compare
it's,
yourself to other people.
maybe not other people, like physical people, but to other people's successes, maybe, yeah, or to like my future self. I'm a big believer in comparing. Like, if I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm sufficient of who Matt Gutierrez is right now. And so that's why I work so hard. That's why I fucking got back from vacation 11 p.m. I picked up a 26-foot truck today, and I picked up a truck, right?
That's right. I just saw
That's-
your story. Still,
That's the point. But that's the point. I want it bad enough. I see the fucking vision, right? And so I go for it. That was my original question, though. Why can't people see the vision? And people can't see the vision because they don't want it bad enough. They don't want to put in the work because they're lazy. That's the answer. That is the simple answer. Everybody's life's hard. Everybody sees something that they want. They want to be a TikTok star. They want to be a YouTuber. They want to, whatever it is. They want to be a lawyer, but they don't do it.
I think, Matt, lazy might be a very
Yeah,
tough word to put on
I
it.
disagree with that.
I know what you mean, but I think
it's lazy.
I think for different scenarios,
Because if
there's
somebody
different
doesn't
word
want
for
it,
it.
then they're not lazy.
Yeah.
They just,
No,
you
but
know.
my point is everybody wants something, right? And if you want it and you're not doing it, I think you're lazy. Yes.
I think if you
disagree with
want
that,
it,
yeah.
you don't do it, and you complain about it, then you're lazy. But if you want it and you don't do it, that's simply because you don't want it enough.
I don't know, man.
right?
One thing I will say though,
Why is it not lazy?
I will say I don't think it's a good thing to compare, even with other people's success.
Wait, why is it not lazy?
What's not lazy?
What I just said.
I because like going back to Mike's point, there's always things that people are trying their best, and at that certain point in time, they're doing their best. There's just no other way around it. You know. So
I don't know, but that's not my point. My point is if you're not doing anything about it.
If you're not doing anything about it, then yeah.
That is my point.
If
That
you're
is
not
lazy.
doing anything about it, and you have the ability to, then you're lazy. But if you don't have the ability to at all, and you have like made some steps, and then you're not lazy, it's just not there for you at that time. At that point.
But my point is, bro, you're agreeing with my point. If you want something bad enough and you don't do anything about it, you're lazy.
Yes, then yes.
That's what I
yes,
said.
Yes.
If you let your life rotten, then yes, you're lazy.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
if you're
then I
doing the
agree,
best
yeah.
based on what you have, then yes,
If you're doing-
you're
yeah,
still
of course,
chasing,
bro.
Yeah.
Yes, people have cancer, bro.
Matt
People,
is so
moms
tired.
have
Yes,
cancer.
that's why
People
I said,
have
yeah.
kids. Of course, dude. Of course, there's hurdles in people's lives.
Okay, yeah. Before we finish, continue. You want
That,
something else?
yeah, that's not the point. The point is, it's always possible. People sit there and they'll like you said, they complain or they'll say, "Why? Woe is me! Woe is me!" But that's not the answer. Woe is not you. You are the issue.
Yeah.
Fix it.
I would say going back to your point, I don't think the reason why I'm guilty of this. I compare myself to people, but I shouldn't because you're your best judge. You're the only person in the world that's going through the unique set of circumstances and experiences. So you're your best judge, and if you compare yourself to yourself, you'll always get a honest and fair judgment of where you are, because nobody else is going through what you are. You know, you can't compare yourself to anybody else, because they have literally not experienced the things you are feeling right now. You know,
Yeah, you're
sure,
right.
there's
You have to have a lot of discipline for that.
yeah, 100%.
A lot of
I'm
discipline.
not there yet, bro. Like my goal is to be at that point where I become my own judge. You
Yeah.
know, like I'm just comparing myself to different eras, and I'm like, I was better 5 years ago. I need to be where I was. So
Yes, use yourself to motivate yourself, right?
Yeah.
Using others oftentimes is unfair. So I think end of the day, we agree on three things, right? First, what Matt said, if you're going through a tough time, it's okay to go through a tough time, but if you're not doing anything, keyword anything, right? Now, obviously, unfortunately, you're lazy, because if you're not doing anything, obviously there's so much things you can do. You don't have to make that whole thing turn around, but at least you need to try something, right?
Or you're just afraid as well. Yeah.
Just like in
Yeah,
the
you're
morning, if
afraid.
your alarm is on, if you're not even willing to turn around to try to reach that alarm, no, unfortunately, that's lazy. But if you turn around, you try your best, but you just really can't get up,
I
that's
would say
different.
scared. I like that word more. than
But what
lazy.
is fear from?
Lazy is a strong word.
What is fear from?
No, fear is from the fear of failure. So it's not being lazy. You have the ability. Lazy implies, oh, you're like, I'll
No,
think about it
bro.
later.
Fear is the result of not knowing something. There's something that you don't know. And how do you know something?
Or it
You
can-
learn.
Or it can be the fear of failing. So you do know.
But what
you
it-
know,
Again, what's failing?
not succeeding at what you tried.
But why?
Because
Because you
You-
stop. Life is fucking hard.
Because fear of what you put in might not turn into the result you wanted.
Yeah, but life is hard, bro. Every billionaire out there can tell you
No,
15
it
times
doesn't
they
matter if
failed,
life is
lost
hard or not.
everything.
You know, it doesn't matter scenario A, scenario B, scenario C.
Mhm.
What it matters, the fear comes from what are you willing to invest in that's not come to the way that you want it. Just like, you know, we haven't got a chance to talk about crypto, right?
Mm.
When you look at crypto, you look at how that thing turns, you know, trust
Yeah.
me. Yeah, if you're putting a serious amount of money in there, you're going to have fear. Because that thing can literally tank 10%
Yeah.
within 10 minutes.
Mine
or
takes
less.
75% at one point, but go ahead.
75. What did you buy?
Don't worry about it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, crypto is like I try to give myself some credit because I bought it at the right time. Not actually, I didn't. I should have bought it like in 2013 when I was a kid. But like it's kind of luck, bro. Like I just put a bunch of money in, it's going up. I didn't do anything about it. You know.
Did
it's
you guys
just-
see that coin? You guys know that the hippo, right? The hippo in Thailand.
No.
You guys don't know the hippo?
Mm.
Anyways, there's this little hippo in Thailand that got a little cute name or something. I forgot the name. Anyways, they literally made a cryptocurrency for that hippo.
Sure.
Like, you gotta be shitting me. Like,
You
there's
can
a
make a
goddamn
crypto
hippo all the
tomorrow,
way in
yeah.
Thailand or somewhere.
Yeah.
You can make a cryptocurrency.
Like, no. I feel like my belief in the cryptocurrency, essentially, first when it started, is decentralized currency, right?
Okay.
But if you're making a goddamn hippo currency, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's a goddamn hippo that don't even know this shit. Like, sure, I mean, what is the value in there? Because the value of the Bitcoin is because there's only a limited amount. Everyone is mining for it, and it's decentralized. It won't, I don't know, maybe it won't inflate as much, right? Maybe it will inflate as much, depending on people's perception. But a hippo coin.
Same thing.
It's the same thing.
Same
But
thing.
how do
There
you
can
know?
be 10 million fixed hippo coins, right? But
I bet you
people see
10
the value.
I bet you, like, a lot of people that's buying the hippo coin, whoever's just buying it, you probably don't know how many hippo coins are out there.
Yeah. But do you know how many Bitcoins are out there?
Yeah, 22.
I don't know on top of my head, but I do know there's a set amount.
But the same thing with the Hippo coin.
But I bet you people who buy Bitcoin would probably do more research than people who buy hippo coin.
I don't know.
I don't know about
actually. Look, man, we're gonna keep disagreeing. You bring on more topics, but crypto is the thing about crypto. It's okay. Do you have cash on you? Any cash?
Yeah,
way?
over there.
Okay, but what value does a $10 note have? Nothing. It's a piece of
Nothing.
paper.
Yeah.
The only value it has
It's
is
backed by US
it's
Reserve.
backed by the United States federal government, right?
And
It's backed.
what's the United States federal
It's
government?
what? It's we give it value.
the people.
Nothing
Yes.
nothing monetarily has value. It's we give it value. So Bitcoin is just like the dollar. You know, it's nothing. You
Yeah.
can make all the sorts of coins. If enough people value it, it'll become, valuable.
Speaking of a physical asset, diamonds. Oh, it's toast. Diamonds are toast. I was watching some documentary.
Carbons.
What's that?
They're just carbons.
Well, not even that. The point. So, the value of diamonds was that there's literally a mineral right in Earth, and we need to mine it to find it, and there's a certain amount. And then so now what's happening is there's a bunch of fake diamonds out there, right? I don't. What
Yeah,
are they?
lab
Moissanite.
diamonds.
Yeah,
Lab diamonds.
moissanite, lab diamonds, whatever. So there was a guy that he's in this diamond industry, and he says if I'm looking at a real diamond and a fake diamond, I won't be able to tell what is what. You have to take it in and you have to send it to a lab and they have to test it. And he said from point A, I think he said 5 years ago, the price in lab diamonds has increased by like 60%. The price, right? And he says it's not going to increase from here, but the price of real diamonds has decreased. So what does that tell you? It tells you people don't value the real thing anymore because there is an equal being.
The real promise of Bitcoin for me is blockchain technology. That's the real game changer, specifically with like Ethereum and NFTs, digital art. Like I see that. I view Bitcoin and Ethereum as digital currencies, and they're valuable because they were the first. Bitcoin was the first one, That's just some advantages you get. If you're the first one in the country, you'll get a lot of the, gold.
Well, it's a brand new technology, right?
Yeah.
That's why they
Bitcoin
hit
was one of the
100K,
first
right?
ones.
It's at 107.
107 right now. Yeah. Making me more nervous, but yeah.
Obviously, I don't open my Coinbase app to check that.
That shit's gonna tank. If you have Bit, you should sell.
I'm still holding.
I don't know.
Last time I was on episode 3, I bought my Bitcoins a couple
telling
weeks
you.
ago. Right now, I'm still holding strong.
What do you have, Bit? You have Bitcoin?
No,
Or what do you have?
different ones.
Oh, okay. Smaller or like what?
Some are very big, some are very small, but I'm holding. And one thing about it is like
When did you buy? What
I
year?
bought it like
remember in
yeah.
the pod, he was like,
Oh, you were.
yeah.
Remember the joke?
like 2
he was
weeks
talking
before the
about
pod on episode 3.
Okay.
I'm still holding. And one thing I do
Bitcoin.
with my Bitcoins or not my Bitcoins, my cryptos and my stock investment is that I separate them into 2 different apps, so I don't accidentally see my crypto. So I essentially I'm trying to forget about it because I only put
Yeah, I do.
the amount I'm willing to lose at a casino in the crypto.
So you're gambling.
I wouldn't say I'm gambling. That would be the wrong terminology.
How?
What I would say is
Same thing.
for pieces
Yeah.
of investments, I'm willing to lose. Willing to lose without any
Repercussions. Okay.
any repercussions.
you don't need that money, basically.
Yeah, so that money I can put in there. It wouldn't. It
It's
would
your
not.
FU money.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily make me make my financial stage any different.
Oh,
Yeah.
you bought it in April, May 2024. Okay.
Somewhere around there. But one thing about it is I put my
That was a good
stocks,
time to buy.
IRAs, 401k, one of these things in one account, one app,
Mm-hmm.
and I put my crypto dedicated to one other account, and I never really opened that account. So every time I open it, if it drops a little bit, cool. I mean, it's not like the money that I really, really care for. It's like I can just lose that money maybe going on a trip to somewhere.
Yeah, as long as you're responsible with it, I think that's the best.
Yeah, I
way.
think play with the amount that you're comfortable, right? And comfortable, of course, these differentiated by different person. So, yeah, still holding strong. I'm gonna continue holding into it.
Are you in profit territory or you
What?
are?
Oh, 100%. You
Crypto?
bought in March, bro.
No, but which coins? I don't know which coins.
I'm not going to disclose that, but
we'll talk about that after the pod. Okay.
talk about your coin. Which one were you?
All
buying?
right.
Bitcoin and Cardano.
What the heck is Cardano?
Cardano's one of the biggest.
Yeah, Cardano's
cryptos.
huge, 6th biggest. Litecoin's like
What's
4,
our
but
market cap?
I don't know the market cap
Of
I don't know.
Cardano.
No, I don't know right now.
So Bitcoin's $1 trillion plus.
Let me check.
Big
Cardano's
coins, you
probably
have
what
to
50
be.
billion,
Maybe more.
less, somewhere there.
Market
Well,
cap
the one
for
of the
Cardano-
coin I bought. Let me tell you this: the market cap is only 6 billion.
Okay.
So changes could be big.
Was it Doge?
No,
What is Cardano's market cap?
I don't
I'm
buy
actually
those.
So what
curious.
did you buy, bro?
I don't buy those bullshit coins like a freaking Shiba on the.
Oh,
on the
I
coin.
have $1,000 in Doge.
You got to be shitting me,
It's $1,000.
dude.
So what's the market cap of Cardano?
It's actually not showing up on Coinbase.
It should.
No, just
Sure.
Google it. Google it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank you for coming on the
spending your time.
podcast.
What the
We're
hell?
not
Mike's on the
gonna-
podcast himself.
I'm not going to,
Wait, what did you invest in?
not going to spend more of your time looking at us, looking through different coins. If you want to know more details, DM us in the Instagram. We'll let you know
No,
what
don't
coins we got.
DM me. I don't give financial
Oh,
advice.
38.8 billion.
We're not
Oh,
going
I
to
was
give
pretty
you
close.
financial
50 billion.
advice. We're going to give you the coins that we bought. However,
No
it's not-
financial advice on this podcast at all.
I don't care. I can say whatever I did.
I don't give any financial advice.
Me
I don't.
too.
I'm not saying to invest in what I invested in.
You said sell Bitcoin if you hold. That's financial
I'm
advice.
telling you.
oh.
as my friend.
Oh, you're telling me. I thought you were
Yes.
telling everybody that was
No, I'm
listening.
saying-
What's up with that $2 bill right there?
Don't worry about it.
Come on, Matt.
I don't know, man. We'll see. All right, thanks.
Just because it's your office doesn't mean you get to be a douchebag.
It's like, yeah.
$2. Yeah, it's just cool, bro. That's Obama on it.
Yeah.
That's Thomas Jefferson. Okay, thank you for coming on. We'll have you back on
All right,
when we get a
Mr.
million subscribers.
1
you
million
said?
subs.
All
Yeah.
right, bro.
Oh my God, Litecoin's
I'll
at
see you,
9
man.
billion. market
Appreciate
cap.
you guys for having me over. Always a blast.
Thanks, bro.
1 million coming soon.